Hello and welcome to another episode of Literary Gladiators, the show where we discuss and debate literature in all of its forms. If it's written work, it's game.
Like bowling.
Let's meet the panel.
Andrew.
Daniel.
Charlie.
And I'm Josh. Charlie, welcome back.
Thank you very much.
You were on
Take a
an eight-week hiatus before Christmas.
Yes.
You joined us for that, and then now you're back for good, it seems, for some time.
I know, it's way up between work and all these things I had to do, and
There was that brief instance sort of shining. I think I saw Charlie there.
Are you
Yeah,
sure?
I think so.
Are you sure that was me?
Maybe, I don't know. A lot of weird things happened
Did
during
he
that
have-
filming session.
Did he have a pink shirt on?
Yes, I think he did.
Yeah, I believe so.
Did he have Vic Firth drumsticks?
Probably.
Oops.
I don't know if he likes cookies.
Oh.
We'll have to find out.
Dun dun dun.
But Andrew, it's always a delight to have you here as well.
Hi, Andrew.
It is. This is the very first video of ours from 2018.
Yes, the
So
ball
it's
has
a-
dropped. I just wish mine would too.
It's a new year and new discussions. And
Sorry.
this particular discussion is going to be about the
Charlie.
Cask of Amontillado
That's
by
a great
Edgar
read.
Allan Poe.
It's a great read. I read that in 9th grade. It was, wow.
Edgar Allan Poe's works are always very popular among people that when I ask which ones do you want to be on, and I get responses for that. And I got the, for the discussion starter, I made this one a little bit more simple, and that is, do you feel that Montresor, who's the narrator, is in the right state of mind, and do you feel that Fortunato is as cruel and deceiving as Montresor portrays him?
I will say this. The first thing alcohol does, it affects the mind. It affects the brain. I do not drink glasses of wine every now and then, but I will say this. When you drink, and I see you in general, but when people drink, usually the first thing to go are the mind. The mind usually is altered. That's why they say don't drink and drive, don't operate heavy machinery, don't get pregnant, don't drink if you're nursing or becoming pregnant, all that good stuff. So that will alter your mind in a way. That's the first thing I want to put out on the table.
Okay. But the question being, it's more so, do you feel that Fortunato is actually a cruel person, or is this just how Montresor is?
Well,
seen?
okay, yes, I didn't really interpret that the best. I'm sorry, but I don't personally think he's as cruel as he's making him out to be. But depending on who's, the amount of wine, Fortunato, right,
Yeah.
is drinking before. We don't know what he's doing before all this is taking place.
The wine seemed to make him weaker, though, and make him
Yeah.
more contained.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm saying the yellow one. The all Italian, right?
Montresor.
Montresor.
Yeah. Montresor, I would argue that he's a little bit unreliable.
Yeah.
I think that.
And they seem like good friends when they meet each other in the street corner that one night. It's
Well,
like,
they know each other. And
Yeah.
that's why he wants to exact what he wants to
Yes.
do, because Fortunato somehow, in his mind, slighted him.
Mhm.
right.
He did something.
We don't know what though.
The thing that is great about this is because it's kind of like a Venn diagram.
Mhm.
There's.
Oh,
I also have to forgive me because when I was reading it, I was pronouncing it different in my head. I was saying like Montresor or whatever, and
It could be.
But I was also like thinking Amontillado, but I could be wrong.
You
But,
could be right, too.
But you have Montresor and you have Fortunato, and the story is the intersection.
Yes.
You kind of they meet. He exacts what he wants to do, but you kind of have. It's great because you have to figure out what it is, why he did it. You kind of figure out he slighted the family somehow. He mentions the family crest.
Yes.
You think maybe he was doing something because they were both possibly Freemasons, and maybe he did something against the organization.
Yeah, it seemed like there was kind of rivalry between them. In some
Yeah,
places.
and he had planned this out for like a long time, and now that there's like this big celebration, it was like this perfect time to manipulate him. And I got the impression that Fortunato is kind of like boastful and kind of crass.
Yes.
He'd be somebody that would like tick you off. And
Okay, so yeah, no, I see. No,
his Montresor is like, well, yeah, forget about it. I'll get Lutresi. He knows about Amontillado, and
Yeah.
it's like, oh, he doesn't know.
Fortunato just seems somebody that is a bit of a hotshot.
Oh, sure.
And
yeah,
then-
yeah.
That, but at the same, and then Montresor is just somebody who is bitter and cunning.
Yeah, and Montresor uses that to his advantage to like just drive him by pure will down this really expansive catacombs.
Yes.
And while he said that he slighted him, to what extent?
We don't know, yeah.
Which
Yeah,
that's-
and you don't know over what.
I mean-
but
Mhm.
it's got to be something significant to
want to commit that kind of crime.
Right.
It's a crime what he did, and if you haven't read it, read it. And I'm not gonna, because I don't want to give away the ending, but we'll just put it very dark. It's cold.
It's a discussion, so we can make mention
Yeah.
of
Oh
the
yeah. Well,
fact
that's right. We
that
do have scrolls.
he prematurely buried him.
Yes.
He got him
he
drunk.
handcuffed him. Well, yes, he
I
did.
think that's kind of terrifying. You're being buried alive. Or something like
It
that.
is.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, because he was saying you're not dead. The thing is, you're running out of oxygen. You can't eat. So you're going to die
Eventually,
suffocation or
He
starvation.
took the flame. He took a flame and threw it in there, so it killed him pretty quickly.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well,
Oh, do you think that's what happened? I thought
That is what happened.
Well, no, I figured it a little different. I just
yeah, but
saw
I'm saying
it-
if he survived the
That's-
burning,
The last, I don't. You're not going to survive.
you can survive a burning.
You could, but you would have to get up and break out of that too, because eventually.
And
just
wasn't he
being
restrained?
contained-
I think the point would just be to eat up more oxygen faster, because the flame would eat up oxygen,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
he would suffocate faster.
Yeah, I didn't look into that, but that's probably maybe
It
what
said at
happened.
the.
And yes, you can die of fire, smoke inhalation.
It said, no
Yeah,
answer
that's
still. I
poorly.
thrust a torch through the remaining aperture and let it fall within.
There you go.
Mhm.
There came forth in return only a jingling of the bells.
Yeah, well,
Oh, he looks at me.
My heart was sick,
Dude,
and on
I
account
gotta go, I
of
gotta
the
pee.
dampness of the catacombs, I hastened to make an end of my labor. I forced the last stone into its position. I plastered it up.
Yeah.
It's pretty much at
Well,
the
they were
last.
blasted all right.
yeah.
The last time there was an opening, you just you tossed it, and you couldn't, even if Fortunato responded, you couldn't
Yeah.
get anything out of there.
Yeah. But and that's what we're all saying here. To what was the offense that this Fortunato character? What was it that he did? Did he kill someone in the other family? Did he cheat them out of some money? I mean, a crime is a crime, no matter how you cut the cheat, no matter how you cut it. But I caught myself on that one. But
And the one thing that's interesting is that like this is like 50 years later. This is maybe
Yes.
like the only Edgar Allan Poe story where
We don't see the beginning.
he doesn't snap the murderer. He kind of
No.
he was very
he
calm.
shudders a little bit, and then
Yeah.
it's like 50 years later. I mean, all is well.
He succeeds though.
But
At what he succeeds in the Telltale Heart, his own madness
Yeah.
causes him to fold. In the Black Cat, the police realize that there is a body in the wall.
Yeah, and I think like what was it? Was it Telltale Heart where like he's in the floorboards?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes.
Telltale
Yeah,
Heart
yeah,
is
yeah. Because
cut
yeah,
from the floorboards.
and like the black cat's the cat's in the wall as well.
The cat and the wife.
Yeah, well, he did like the body. Yeah.
Yeah. Carcass.
Yeah.
Cadaver.
This one, there was really no mention of the body being found. Thing is,
Yeah.
he got away with what he did.
50 years later, and everything's intact.
Yeah, everything's fine. The
And it makes
family's
you wonder,
good.
the thing is, like, it's kind of hard to describe whether Fortunato is really as bad as he says, or if it's just the fact that they
That's
probably
what
some
I'm saying.
rivalry.
Mhm. That could have very well been it.
Yeah, and we don't know if his justice was rightfully deserved either, because we don't know if Fortunato is as bad. Because if Fortunato is as bad as Montresor says, then yeah, he kind of deserved to be put behind that wall.
Mm.
If not, then either way, they're both pretty bad people. There's a gray area in
Yeah,
this story that we don't know
Yeah.
about.
yeah.
It's either one of them can be bad, the other could be bad, or both of them could be equally as bad, or nobody could be bad.
Yeah, it also could be like he knew that he'd be so easily manipulated that maybe he just wanted to kill somebody, and he was just because he totally had him going basically on pure will at the end. It's like it's like all the liking's gonna get to you. It's like I can breathe okay.
Yeah, the thing is, like, you can't really cut it black and white because you really don't know the whole backstory of these two.
Yeah.
That's
And
what
you
I'm
don't know if
saying.
this man's doing something because he's ordered to, or because he wants to, or if it's rightfully deserved.
Yeah.
Because Fortunato, we don't know if he... Like, if someone kills a member of my family, I'd want that person dead or brought to justice. So the thing is, I would pretty much, cut him up into pieces and stick him in the floorboards,
Yeah.
But then
Even though
again,
that's not what happens in this, but I'm just saying.
No, but that's
Yeah.
the first two go to like thought of like why he's doing that.
Yeah, so like the thing is, like, there's many different reasons. Or if Fortunato was just somebody whose motives were misunderstood, and this guy just wanted to get rid of him because he felt like he was competition, or
could
he
be.
disliked him, or whatever. Like, so there's many things that you can interpret what the backstory is of why these two are at each other's throats, kind of. Because like the way they talk to each other seems like they kind of respect each other, but they also have like it's deep-seated hatred, kind of like passive aggressiveness.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I got from them
That's-
speaking.
and like I
And-
said, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
Oh yeah.
The alcohol affects judgment. And when you're drinking, like look, even when I have a glass of wine, I'm a little woo. Plus, I have a low tolerance.
Montressor, though, knew what he had a plan.
Yeah, and he used that alcohol
And
to his advantage.
Fortunato was the victim, and the alcohol contained him to the fact that he allowed himself to get chained up and
Yeah,
wasn't
That's
noticing
getting a little
until
kinky,
it was
but
too
yes.
late that he was being the
Alcohol doesn't affect
yeah,
the judgment.
being killed, basically. Yeah, but like that's why I thought I said alcohol affects the judgment, and that's probably why a lot of that's why I think. Oh no, it's not cold out, it's fine. And he drank, and it says he drank an entire bottle of wine. Usually a bottle of wine is 750 milliliters.
Did he also tempt him with alcohol? Like I think
Yes.
was it like a Cask of Amontillado?
yeah.
I don't
Amontillado
know.
is a wine.
Yeah, like,
and they went to a
it is.
tasting.
Yeah, so like it's like the whole story is basically about wine.
He invited him to go.
Yeah,
To
and that's
wine
what he used to trick him.
Did he use? What did he do? Slash a vault open and all the most expensive wine fall out?
Yeah, why didn't you just throw some of the wine in the vault, like behind that wall, so that way he'd be covered in alcohol and things could use to set on fire?
I think that
I helped the guy
I
kill
think
murder.
that he I think he was thinking about it.
So I need you to place your hands behind your back. You're under arrest. No
No,
kidding.
you don't do it like that.
Dang, Daniel.
Actually, he didn't want to waste the
Too much
wine.
of a tricks.
I don't know. No, I think it was the way that the reason to make him drunk, it makes him impaired. If you just
Thank you.
throw alcohol on him, he's gonna run off. He's gonna fight.
Yeah.
And with this
Alcohol.
motive,
Yeah, but you already
he
had it
really-
behind the wall. Like you just pour some of the alcohol in there and then throw the torch in there.
Well, that's more 21st century. More like.
I'm just saying that sets things on fire. They didn't have oil or guns back then.
Yes, no, they
does, but
I have no idea when the sort was.
I think that if you just throw the torch in there, it makes it a slow and cruel process.
Like I said, eats up the oxygen. I mean, you could assume that he catches on fire, or that just eats up all the oxygen and thinks he's stuck there with no oxygen.
I mean,
Yeah,
look,
he's
all
not
right,
gonna make it.
Let's do a science experiment.
Yeah, I was kind of dumb to that
What,
fact. That,
suffocate a
yeah,
person?
I was gonna say, why don't we? Well, no, that's not what I meant. I was gonna say, I'll be the scapegoat. You build a wall of Legos around me, and you don't have Legos.
No,
And throw a torch in there? That sounds
Well,
very
yeah.
dangerous.
Well, I have a flashlight over there that's very bright. Okay, yeah, I'm really tired today.
Alrighty. Does anybody have any final thoughts?
Dark and eerie.
That's what it's supposed to be.
I thought it was like, isn't that like maybe like the last in his is one of his later? He had like
I
a
don't-
novel after like.
It's not his absolute last.
No.
His last. There was a work. There's one particular work that was so late that it was unfinished. I'll leave a name down below because I know that Joyce Carol Oates referenced it in Wild Nights. But Hot Frog was later. Annabelle Lee was later. The Bells was probably one of the very last.
Oh, I think I read that.
But
The Bells of Notre Dame.
It was just the bells.
Oh, okay.
And it's probably, the Raven's definitely his most memorable poem.
Oh, yeah.
It's either Annabelle Lee or the bells.
Now I finally get that
But-
cute little meme with the bird with the glasses on it, with the sunglasses. Or am I thinking of something completely different?
That's something completely different.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Alcohol affects judgment, boys and girls.
But yeah, I still think
Snapple.
Edgar Allan Poe is a remarkable writer, a pioneer in horror fiction,
Yes,
and The
I
Cask
agree.
of Amontillado it's one.
I think it's like one of his most underrated works. Actually.
I think
I
that it
agree.
was. I don't know if I would say it's underrated. I think it's
Well,
one
not
of the
many
strong
people
ones.
really talk about it, so like that's why I say it's underrated because not many people know. Like if you ask people, hey, do you know what the Cask of I can't pronounce that name.
I want you.
Amontillado is.
Yeah.
I think it's difficult, so you're gonna say no. They have no idea who it is.
I think if you ask people to name 7 Edgar Allan Poe works, I think that it would be one of them. I would say The Raven, Telltale Heart, The Black Cat, The Bells, Annabelle Lee. I think The Cask of Amontillado would be one of them, and then maybe either
Mask of the Red Death is pretty popular.
Mask of the Red Death, Fall of the House of Usher,
Yeah.
Pit and the Pendulum.
Yeah,
All the movies.
that's the movie.
The Pit and Pendulum, yeah. Vincent Price.
But I think
Oh
that-
yeah, that's another movie.
Yeah, I think that that's where you would. But this collection here is his complete tales and poems,
I'll just hold it up to the camera. Okay.
and
If you can read that, good luck.
Yeah.
I read that back. I bought that back in high school, and I always like having a large, complete collection of his works. This is the reason I really don't own too many Edgar Allan Poe works, is because I really just want access to everything he's written. It doesn't have to be 10 versions of things that he's written.
Mhm.
If I have everything, that's all I need.
Yeah, I read this story when I was in college. We had to read it for
Aw.
a class one time. So the thing is, like for homework, we had to read this. And then I
Murphy or
think-
Barrett?
Barrett.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh, that's right. That would make sense, because English 2 is responding to.
Yeah, so we had to read that story, and then we had to read another story, which I forget the name of it, but I remember it was like so cliche and boring. It's kind of like the same story I've read, seen in a bunch of movies. But yeah, the thing is, like this one really made the impression on me, and the thing is, I absolutely love it because it's like you don't really know the backstory, so you don't really know who to say is in the right and who's in the wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean,
Well, if you kill somebody, you're technically in the wrong.
Yeah,
Unless
but
it's
the thing-
self-defense. If
But I'm
it's
saying, like,
self-defense,
do you think military men are in the wrong?
no, I'm saying unless it's self-defense.
Yeah, but the thing is, you don't know why he killed this man. It
That's
could have
right.
been for revenge, which,
Yes.
in some people's eyes, yeah, that could be considered wrong either way. And if
Yeah.
you look at it just like at the straight and narrow, just
Right.
right at the story itself,
Yeah, like which side was more virtuous?
yeah, like the thing is, you would say that Montresor, whatever the hell his name is in the wrong, and Fortunato was in the right.
Yeah.
But if you combine everything from like what the past could have been
Right.
that led up to this point, it's unknown. So
Yeah.
you could.
Could have been justified.
Yeah, it could have been justified. It could still be wrong. It could be unjustified, or it could just be
Just
you
get a
know,
good lawyer from upstate New York.
or it could just be a bad guy taking out another bad guy.
Yeah, like vigilantiness.
Yeah.
It's not a word. but-
So like that's that's why it really made an impression on me because it's like most of it's so unknown.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you come to your own conclusion of who's right and who's wrong.
That's definitely my favorite part of it too. It's just all the what ifs. Not the what ifs, but like
That's the
just the
magic of
unfinished
special
characters.
Alrighty then.
And also how it was done very method to it. It was very.
It's very methy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
That's a lot.
Alrighty then. Be sure to join us next time for another episode of Literary Gladiators. For now, keep reading.
And have a drink if you're old enough.